Joining us now from House Judiciary, he is Congressman Dan Bishop. It's great to have you back on. Okay, we've got new reports coming in. This is what's going on. This is the latest in Special Counsel John Durham's criminal probe of the botched Trump-Russia investigation. That Hillary Clinton's former campaign lawyer, he's Michael Sussman, his team is now turning against a top FBI official, James Baker, reportedly throwing the former FBI general counsel under the bus in order to fight Special Counsel Durham's criminal charges. What do you say to this?
Well, it's kind of pretrial jockeying, Liz. James Baker is the FBI counsel to whom Sussman, the Clinton lawyer and former Justice Department lawyer, by the way, went with a fantastical concocted tale about computer traffic between Trump and the Trump Organization and the Alfa Bank, a Russian bank. It was all made up, and Sussman told Baker that he wasn't coming in on behalf of a client, but he was, in fact, the Clinton campaign's lawyer. And that's James Baker's the key witness. They're trying now to raise doubts about James Baker, but the FBI's already had an opportunity to respond. They got this in writing, notes taken contemporaneously, so it's not going to get them very far, I think.
Yeah, and they've got 3 interviews that Mr. Baker did with the special counsel's office. I mean, the allegations is that Michael Sussman, as you point out, lied to the FBI. Sussman is pleading not guilty that he lied. This is one of the showcase of the cases of the Durham criminal probe. It's basically saying that Sussman claimed to the FBI's James Baker that he was not representing anyone. He was just coming in as a private citizen with that Trump Alfa Bank story, meaning the Trump computers were talking to Russia's Alfa Bank when the FBI found it was just Trump hotel marketing spam emails. So there's a simple question. There's a simple question that could be asked, and it could be posed to the jury. If this is supposed to go to trial or to a court next spring, if Sussman is innocent, why didn't he just say to the FBI, I'm coming from the Hillary campaign, we've got this information, we want to share it with you?
Well, exactly, Liz. And if you look at everything about this phase of the Durham investigation, it's all becoming that way. What you find is not only was it the case that Fusion GPS was hired by the DNC, that Fusion GPS, who hired Chris Steele, the so-called, the MI6 former private investigator or private eye, that he was getting information from this Igor Danchenko, who Durham has also indicted, but Danchenko's information was coming from a Democrat operative. So it keeps kind of going around in circles, but it always leads back to the Clinton campaign and to Hillary Clinton. It was an opposition exercise the whole time, and the FBI took the nation through a nightmare of hoax investigation against President Clinton.
Yeah, so again, if you're innocent, why don't you just say who you're working for? You know what I mean? Why did you?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so that seems like a simple question that just blows up the whole Sussman case. I mean, they're saying they hear there's a memo from a government agency that questions the credibility of the FBI's former top lawyer, Mr. Baker. And by the way, the prosecution, Durham has turned over more than 91,000 pages in unclassified discovery, more than 5,000 pages in classified discovery. But you're saying that there's contemporaneous notes that were taken that show that James Baker is telling the truth, right?
That's exactly right. James Baker went back to the FBI after having had this meeting with Sussman, for which he was he's now been indicted. And Baker then told the story to another executive at the FBI who took notes then. So the FBI, they've considered all this, and they've decided they've got enough evidence to proceed to seek a conviction with proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's what they're doing.
This could go to trial or to a court right in the middle of the midterms by next spring. Wow, this could blow up during the midterms. Okay, let's move on to this. Democrat Adam Schiff saying that even though that there are many discredited claims in the debunked Steele dossier that the DOJ IG and multiple experts have said this is totally false, he's still thinking parts of it are trustworthy in going after Trump. Watch this.
According to CNN and other major news organizations, a series of investigations and lawsuits have discredited many of the infamous so-called Trump dossier's central allegations and exposed the unreliability of that so-called dossier's sources. Do you worry, Congressman, that your credibility, other Democrats' credibility could be hurt by that, and that it potentially could impact how some see this current investigation?
No, and people that have been following the investigation understand the very limited role that the Steele dossier played, and also understand that while we may now know that one of his primary sources was lying to him, it doesn't change Donald Trump's corrupt behavior in 2016.
Well, Adam Schiff is misleading again. The Steele dossier did not play a limited role. The DOJ Inspector General noted the FBI used the Steele dossier as a basis to get FISA wiretaps meant for terrorists to go after the Trump campaign. There goes Adam Schiff misleading again. Your word.
Adam Schiff is the Jesse Smollett of Congress. He just hasn't had his trial yet.
All right, Congressman Bishop, it's good to see you. Come back soon.